All right, traders, welcome to Behringer Trading. It is April 15th, and this is the beginning of our weekend chart review. Let's look at XBI. This is the S&P Biotech ETF. So we can appreciate some distribution. That distribution gave us a downward price objective of 45, which was achieved. We then built some cause here, and this cause, followed by this breakout, would give us a price target of $80. I still think that this price target will be achieved. As long as we maintain this nice angle of advance here, we could see a pullback, maybe back down to 65 or so. But I think we'll see some participation. We'll continue this upward trajectory to the $80 price target. So I guess some observations here is that we are kind of pulling back, but we're pulling back on contracting volume. So it's still kind of a bullish environment. Again, I'd expect to see some participation on this lower trend line. And our goal here is $80. Good luck. Next up is ECA. So this is a weekly chart. What I appreciate here on the weekly chart is that we do have this lower trend line here that the angle advance was violated. Additionally, it was violated with increased volumes. We have supply. We did find some participation here along the 40-week moving average or the 200-day moving average. And we have some expansion through that moving average, increased ease of upward movement, but we're starting to get some selling here. We're starting to get some supply. If we look here, it looks like the character wish that we broke this, there's still some weak hands here. So I'd speculate that we're probably going to drop back down to this 200-day moving average and confirm it as support before we continue and try to re-achieve this angle advance. If we look at a daily chart here, we can appreciate that here's a bullish ascending channel that was violated. You can't really appreciate the volume so much, but on the weekly we can. Again, we had some support here along the 200-day moving average. If you do a count here, you get a $1.50 count. So part of the problem is that we are trading up into where the price objective's at. Additionally, it looks like we broke the little bull flag that's down here. So that kind of correlates with my assumption or speculation that prices are going to kind of retest this 200-day moving average. As long as volume's weak, I think 1075, 1050 would be good entry. Obviously, a stop loss would be below the prior lows. Another reason we're encountering supply is this is the preliminary supply, a lot of distribution through here. So it's just going to take a little bit extra in consolidation before it gets above there. This is a weekly chart of Bluebird Bios. So first thing I want you to appreciate is we have this distribution mark down, this accumulation that's present. Based on the time spent in consolidation here, we've built enough cause to achieve two price objectives. The first is $90, which has been achieved. The second is $120. So it looks like after hitting this first price objective, the prices need to kind of consolidate a little bit before they can kind of build enough cause to achieve this upper $120 price objective. I think so long as prices maintain this angle advance here, this lower trend line, the conditions are bullish. I want you to appreciate that as prices are falling back, they're doing so with narrowing spreads and on contracting volume. So although they may continue to fall back and test the 200-day moving average, it still is a long-term bullish scenario as long as this trend line holds. If we look at a daily chart, here's something that's a little suspect, and I think this supports my thesis with prices pulling back. But what we have here are these two high interest areas, so two huge volume spikes. This one is a gap open that sells, and this next one's a run up that's reversed. Now, although prices have worked through here, it's done so on small, without as much buying or participation. So the market generally will go back and retest these areas. So now you can appreciate that they exist. They're validated by the volume. Prices find support here around the 50-day moving average. We consolidate and we work our way through there. So this is very bullish. Increases of upward movement. We're kind of consolidating through here. Descending triangles bearish. But you can appreciate now that prices might be breaking down just to confirm this prior level of resistance as support, because we haven't truly done so. And if you look at that level between 77.5 and 70, that also correlates to these price targets around the weekly. So I tend to think that Bluebird Bio is going to kind of fade back a little bit here. Still a pretty big, risk that you're holding, but I think we'll see greater participation with lower risk entry along support here. This is a daily chart of Chesapeake Energy Corp. So I had noted previously that we were seeing some distribution and gave us some down targets. So I got some slack for this a couple months ago, but we can appreciate that the down target was achieved, and we almost achieved this second down target. But I don't like a few things here, and one is that it actually not only did it achieve the first bearish objective, but it almost achieved the second bearish objective, because that created a lower low. I think that created a additional sign of weakness, a sow, and now we kind of rally back up, and this rally failed uh, to trade higher than its prior low here. In other words, prior support had become resistance, and that might be another last point of supply. That could potentially have prices, break down. I think there's a lot of risk here. But I think we also have, what are these key areas? So we have this high volume area here that prices broke down and closed off lows, but yet there's no follow through, so it's very bearish. But then we close at lows here and there's no follow through, and we retest, there's no selling, that's why we rallied away. But now we're back again at the same zone here. So I think that there's some supply here, obviously, because prices are rejecting this area. But we have another key area of interest here where prices rally away, and then there's on very strong volume, and then a gross reversal on really strong volume, and then prices are breaking down away from there. So that's pretty bearish here. So the question is where's it going to find support? And you really have to go back and try to find demand. And the last time there was any demand was this area of interest. So I kind of think that we have to wait on Chesapeake here and see how it tests this probably $5.60 area, if not down to the lower wick here, probably in the 530. So I'm cautious on Chesapeake. I think we need more information.